Hello everyone! I have to set the camera down and I don't have a tripod, so hence the funny angle. Today I'm going to do something that I was planning to do yesterday, but I couldn't because you're going to see it takes a lot of prep. And I don't know when this camera dies, so if it dies halfway through, I'm sorry. I'm going to actually be making something that I've talked about in other videos before, and yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try to make some kimchi, and that's why I couldn't make the video yesterday, because anyone who's made this stuff knows that it takes a lot of preparation, and I want to put out a disclaimer for anyone who actually makes this normally and who has been trained in the art. I have not, and I'm just following a recipe online, so this isn't professional. This is just for people who like cooking videos and just to relax. So I'm going to start right from the beginning. A very crinkly bag. This is a napa, or it's supposed to be. I had a different name at my grocery store, so obviously I need to go wash this, and while I wash this I'm going to make sure that this is recording. So you may not see me for a sec, but you'll probably hear the water. Just need to get my knife, chop this up. Now for real people who do cooking, I know this knife is not the right kind, but the kind that I want to use is dirty right now. And I have a very wobbly table. Well, I got some leaves off. There we go. Getting the knob off I always find is the hardest part. Put that aside. I'm so sorry about all this extra jingling sound. My table is really wobbly. Okay, there's still a bit of knob left on this, but tear it apart. I always like these hard, crunchy parts the best anyway, so I don't want to miss out on them. Now, once I actually finish cutting all this up, I have to let this soak in salt water for about 12 hours, so I may or may not record the part that I do after, because it'll be quite late, 12 hours from now. But you'll at least get to see this first bit, and I'll also try to you probably can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. I'll also try to record the part where I cut up the other ingredients to make the paste. And I hope you can hear me and that it's alright. I can't, this camera doesn't have a little video that I can see, so I don't really know what I'm recording. Alright, that's probably good. Okay. Let's cut a bit more. Go. This was the culprit. Making all those loud noises. There, much better. Oh my goodness, I can't even see the cutting board anymore. There's so much nappa. Tear apart these big pieces by hand. I don't really like the leafy bits myself. I like the white part and the crunchy part. So I don't mind if the leafy bits aren't cut up perfectly. And this isn't something that I'm going to be serving to anyone but myself and my husband, because no one in my family likes kimchi except us and my in-laws. So I'm not too worried about presentation. So I'll just tear these up. I'm going to check my computer in a second because that's where I have the recipe. There we go. Oh, I still have some more leaves that I missed. I kind of like the crunchy sound the leaves make too. Or not the leaves, the white part that I like. The leaves almost sound like I'm wearing rubber gloves. So now I imagine all you guys can see is a mountain of nappa. So now I'm going to check my computer, and I'll leave the recipes that I'm following in the description below, because I'm actually following 2 different recipes. Still have a bit more to tear apart. And I'll let you know where I am different from the recipes as well, because I'm not following them exactly. There we go. I'm going to have one wet table to clean up after this. Okay. So now, let me see. I'm just going to double check. It doesn't specify how much salt you put in the water. So I'm just going to see. Let me see. Alrighty. I'm gonna go get my bottle, or not my bottle, my bowl to put all this cabbage in. Alright. Put this into a nice bowl. So we'll both be able to find the cutting board under all of this. Hope this is a big enough bowl. I just have this, I just have this one big salad bowl, and I hope it'll be enough to fit all this nappa. Hello again. So my camera died and I had to reset it. So in that time, I got rid of that crazy noise again, and I got all my other ingredients out minus one. I'll have to go get that. But I'll show you. This is all the napa. I managed to fit it into this nice bowl. Makes a nice noise. So now I have to sprinkle 1/2 cup of salt on this. So I've got my salt, and I have my cups, so 1/2 cup. Going to be a lot of salt, but it's for a lot of napa. Now, last time I made kimchi, it was a little bit too salty, so I'm not going to put in a full 1/2 cup because I said it was way too salty last time. Don't know if you can hear that sound. It's really nice. Double check, 1/2 cup seems a lot. That's what it says. Okay, if I sprinkle this all day, it's going to take forever, so. Looks like snow kimchi now. Alright, so now I'm going to cover this in water. I'll be right back. Well, I'm sure you heard that little mishap. I'll have to go clean that up. That's really heavy. Alright, so I've got my napa covered in water. I'm just gonna put some covering over top of it, and then I'll let it sit and get to chopping the rest of the ingredients. But I'm sure you heard I just spilled a lot of water, so I'm gonna clean that up and then I'll be right with you again. This is why my husband usually does the cooking. I make a mess. I'm back. So I don't need the salt anymore. Put that away. What I do need is green onions. So I forget how much it says I need. It says 4 of them. This thing is really sticky. Oh! There we go. Get rid of this. I need 4 of these. This one's huge. 1, 2. These are really big. I'm just gonna go with 3 because these things look massive. The rest over here. I have to chop off the ends. Alright. I'm not chopping these up super fine because I like them a little bit bigger in my kimchi. I have a little bit of salt on them, I guess. Make a nice crunchy sound. Almost sound like you're walking through leaves. And again, I know this is not a proper knife, but it works. And both Chuck and I like green onions a lot, so it looks like a lot, but it actually isn't too much. Because you saw how much cabbage there was, or how much napa. Okay. These aside. Now it says 6 to 8 cloves of garlic. And that's a lot of garlic. But if there's something I love in food, it is garlic. I absolutely adore garlic. It's one of my favorite smells in the world and tastes. There we go. 1. These are pretty big cloves, so I'm gonna just go with 6 instead of 8. Also, I think my napa is smaller than the one they called for. So there's 2. And I'm gonna chop these up. I'm just peeling them first because otherwise I will forget to peel them and I'll start chopping them without thinking. It's something I've done before. 3. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. Well, maybe not. Maybe most of you don't like garlic and onions, but I love them both. 4. Use these last 2. Sorry if I'm doing this quickly. I just know this camera doesn't have a whole lot of life in it. Alright, so now I'm going to chop these up. rid of the tips first. Now my garlic, I like to be finely chopped. I know I've seen people who have those machines. They're not really machines, but they almost look like, they look like the machines where you go to like a Italian restaurant and they put the cheese in it and then it comes out all stringy on your spaghetti. It looks like that, only it's for garlic. I would love to get my hands on one of those, but I always forget to get one when I'm at the store. So I always chop it by hand, which takes longer. Which is probably good for you guys, but horrifying for any real chefs or people with actual cooking talent. And my hands are clean, so don't worry about that. As you can see, I'm just roughly chopping it up, but usually I'd go a little finer than this. Oh, okay. That's one clove. Don't even know if you can see what I'm doing, but hopefully you can. I'm so bad at cooking, guys. I'm sorry. I should have gotten Chuck to do this video for you. You would have liked it more. He's much better at this. But I still have fun. Fingers are getting all covered in garlic oil and it's making them sticky. I'm right beside a window too, so I'm sorry if you can hear all the traffic going by. I wasn't kidding when I said I have a noisy apartment. Okay. But hopefully those of you who like repetitive motion are enjoying this. All I'm doing is chopping things up. I'll try and edit the video if the chopping is too loud, but I can't make any promises. Might still be a bit loud. But I know for me, when I watch these kind of videos, this is might be a shock to some of you, but I don't actually get ASMR myself. What I watch them for, more often than not, is just the sound of someone talking. And that's why I normally just do talking videos. I don't do sound videos, because for me, sound videos don't do anything. But I know that a lot of you really like sound videos. So hopefully this will be the best of both worlds. Get some repetitive motion, some sounds of chopping veggies and other delicious things. But you also get some talking, and for the people who are like me and who just listen for the sake of not feeling like the place is too quiet and feeling more of a comforting sensation as opposed to an ASMR sensation, you'll like this video just because it feels like someone's cooking with you, or that you're watching some food channel, although I'm sure they would do a much better job if you were watching a food channel. It's one of the nice things about kimchi, though, is that you really make it according to your preference. And each batch, or each person rather, their batches will taste different from other people's. Like, for example, one of the Korean ladies that will make kimchi for my in-laws uses pears instead of sugar in her kimchi because her family really likes that taste. But another lady, her family likes really salty kimchi, so she uses extra fish sauce. Just a second, I'm gonna go get one of the other ingredients that I forgot to get earlier. Here we go. Nice grocery bag. This is a daikon radish, apparently. I had to look it up because I didn't know what they looked like. But I need to wash this, and I need to put these in a bowl, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll start right up as soon as this is washed. Okay? Alright, so I got rid of my other ingredients. Just need to clean off this knife a little bit. Now I have my radish. I'm only going to use half because neither I nor my husband are huge radish fans. Nothing wrong with it, and it is really nice in kimchi. It gives it that extra crunch, but we're not crazy for it, so I'm not going to use a whole lot. Really need to sharpen this knife or get my good one. There we go. It's a little better. And I can't cut in a straight line. I'm so bad at that. Again, real people who make kimchi on a regular basis. I'm sorry if this is causing you great shame or disgrace, but oh, I got that the wrong way. See? Silly me. However, to give myself a little bit of credit, this is cooking, and I'm not much, this isn't even really cooking, this is like, I don't know, preparation, which I'm not much good at. However, I have a lot more practice in baking, so things like cookies and cakes, that's more my forte, whereas making kimchi is quite clearly not. Now it says to cut them into matchsticks, but I don't think I'm skilled enough to do that. So I'm just gonna cut them into little pieces, just big enough to pick up with chopsticks, because that is the best way to eat kimchi, although I have been known to use a fork every now and then if I'm feeling lazy. This piece is kind of gross. Okay. There we go. I'm kind of doing the matchstick thing, just not very well. I have this weird feeling that my kimchi, or my nappa rather, is too small for all these ingredients, but I hope not. I hope that it turns out okay. I mean, the reason I'm making it is for you guys to have cooking videos, not really for me to have kimchi, but it would be nice if we could do both. I could get my tasty snack and you guys can get your cooking video. Hopefully this camera beeps at me again if it tells me the video's over. It's been doing that and it's allowed me to make this relatively seamless thus far. And it's not like you can unchop a radish, so if you miss it, it's too bad, kind of. I already chopped. Also hoping I can finish this before my class, because I do have one class today, and the professor always goes over a lot of material every class, so it's not something I could miss or be late for. If I was late for it, I would miss the whole, pretty much like a third of the lecture, because he talks so fast and has so much material in every moment of the class. Oh, this piece is too big. There we go. Man, this seems like a lot of radish. I'm not really measuring though, so it's probably my own fault. I don't know if it's different at some grocery stores, but I find at mine it's difficult to measure the vegetables in like produce. I think they do have a scale, but they don't make it easy to find. So I wasn't able to weigh my radish before I bought it. And in a lot of these recipes, because the weight of produce can vary so much, anytime you have like green onions or garlic or anything that's a whole item, I guess, that you have to prepare yourself, in the recipes they don't list like 1 cup necessarily. They'll list something like 8 ounces, or they'll list however many cloves or something, or they'll say like a medium Napa, but I have no real basis on which to judge whether a Napa is medium, small, large, because I don't have them all the time. So I kind of just gave up on measuring and just kind of went with the flow and estimated. So again, real cooks, very sorry about this. I hope you can forgive me for butchering your discipline. Sorry, I'm not cutting where you can see. There we go. Again, I'm not too worried about presentations. This is just for Chuck and I. If I were serving this to guests or something, I'd probably be more worried about these being perfect matchsticks and about making sure the Napa was all sliced perfectly and stuff. I know for some people cooking is like a Zen activity, but for me, if I try to be too careful and disciplined and precise about it, I usually just end up getting frustrated. So here is my daikon all chopped up. I'm not going to put this with the other ingredients because I don't think you're supposed to just yet, so I'm just going to get another bowl to put this in to save for later when I put everything together. Sorry about that noise. Something fell over. Darn. Oh. I'll have to go get that in a second. My garbage bag is falling over. It's making a lot of noise. So just a second, I'll be right back. So for this last part, I'm gonna just show you ingredients. I'm not actually gonna use them because I don't get to use these ingredients until the end, which I'm not gonna be able to film because it's gonna be too late. But this is chili powder. It's from a local Korean store, and it's very hot. In fact, it's so hot that when you put it into the kimchi, you have to wear gloves to protect your hands, otherwise your hands will burn. So this isn't usually the brand that I buy, but I think it was on sale or something when Chuck went to go get it for me. So eventually I'll be putting 1/3 cup, I believe, of this into it. But I usually like mine a little bit hotter than what they call for, so I'll probably put in a little bit more than 1/3 of a cup. But this is what gives kimchi its spiciness. It also makes a nice crinkly noise here. that's one ingredient. This is another ingredient. This is glutinous rice flour. And this is something that's not 100% necessary for kimchi. In fact, I've never used this before. But what this does, and I'll link the recipe below, this is why I'm using 2 recipes. I find that when I made kimchi myself, it was too watery. And what this does is when you boil, I think it's you boil it with water. I'll just check right here. I've got the recipe pulled up. Yeah, I think you boil it with water. You put it to a simmer. So you cook this basically. And then you add all the ingredients that I just chopped up and the pepper flakes. And then it turns it into a paste. So that instead of having a runny mixture of flavor, it turns into a paste that you can put onto your cabbage or your napa. Makes a nice sound too. So this is the rice flour that I'm going to try out tonight. And the last ingredient is ginger. Now, I can't find my ginger root, and it may mean that we're out, so we may have to run out and get ginger root because I can't find it. But the other thing we use is fish sauce, and I also don't have any fish sauce, so I'm gonna have to run it tonight. At least get the fish sauce, maybe get some ginger root too. And those are the 2 final ingredients that I'll need to put into my little mixture of garlic, green onions. There'll be radish in here, but right now it's separate, and chili powder. And this will be the flavoring for the kimchi. And once my kimchi is sat for 12 to 24 hours, I might let it go 24, I'm not sure yet. Depends on how busy I am today. I will I'll put this in the kimchi paste and coat all the kimchi leaves, or the cabbage leaves rather, in the paste, and then I'm gonna let it ferment for almost a month. And you guys will see you will next time see the kimchi in one of my last videos, and I will feature the kimchi and I will give it a try for you guys. So I hope this wasn't too much of a failed experiment. You will be getting cooking videos every Tuesday. Again, today's kind of messed up because kimchi takes a lot of preparation and you have to soak for 24 hours, and we couldn't get the ingredients and it was just a big mess. But normally you'll be getting cooking videos on Tuesdays. So stay tuned next week for another cooking video, and tomorrow you'll be getting Thursday's video. So bye for now.